It's happening. I can't believe it, but we're locked into it. 50 minutes and counting. Christ, I just can't take it. I can't fucking tell you.
What exactly are you talking about?
I'm talking about nuclear fucking war.
Who is this?
Holy shit, that's as old as me.
Yeah. This movie was made in 1989, Miracle Mile. It is as old as Jared.
Holy God.
I got socks older than you, kid. As my old man would say. Miracle Mile. I think it's kind of an interesting movie. Some weird background to it is it was originally proposed as a segment to the Twilight Zone movie. It was just going to be one of the stories in the Twilight Zone movie.
Just like a small little segment? Wow.
I think there was going to be a twist as to whether or not the truth of the phone call was true or not. But
so it seems more Hitchcocky,
yeah,
right?
Anyway, it ended up becoming too big, and they ended up making Miracle Mile years later.
I feel like they would have done better if they just left it as a Twilight Zone episode.
Okay. Well, I'll set up this one because I know where this review is going. So, Anthony Edwards, sort of a classic everyman actor, really like everybody's a Goose fan from Top Gun, apparently. He plays a man who meets the woman of his dreams and is set up to have a date with her. But due to some malfunctions, some power going out, he oversleeps, ends up coming to the diner way late, and coincidentally catching a phone call. The phone call informs him from a missile silo in North Dakota,
Dakota.
That missiles are on their way to all the major city centers, and they should be expecting touchdown in about 50 minutes. And the person on the other end of the line is very, very convincing. So our hero, our protagonist, is faced with the knowledge that he's convinced is true, that the sky's about to rain fire on the city. And he has 50 minutes to save himself and as many people as possible. What does he do? Now, on a premise alone, I think this is a really solid movie. And I think of all of these movies, I mean, I'm tipping the bag here. I liked it more than you did, but yeah. I would love to see this movie remade. I would love to see another kick at the can of this movie too. It feels very 80s, and it feels,
which I can get over in a sense. But I mean, that was like the bottom. That was up there, but it was on the list of things for sure. But if it was remade, I feel like it has some real strong potential.
Because that's what really anchored me. It wasn't it wasn't the production value, and it wasn't the aesthetic of the movie. It was that central premise, that crux, that horrible position that he's put in, and that went a long way for me in this movie.
Well, and it had me at the start. Well, not the first part intro. It was a little weird. Him in the museum and trying to like creep on this like woman with a Billy idol haircut,
Merritt Wingham, yeah, she's a strange looking woman. I don't quite understand her as a romantic lead or as a character in this movie. She's very strange.
That was the hardest 80s outfit to deal with, right? Was that haircut alone.
Yeah, but we have to accept the time the movie was made, and I can put it past it. I put up with oiled up saxophone guy in Lost Boys. There's things that you got to take on the chin with the period
with the 80s.
Yeah, that
Goonies was perfect.
Yeah. I'm not going to give the movie a thumbs down on the basis I didn't like anyone's haircut, is my point.
Yeah, no, but they had me up until the diner, right? The concept was really strong and everything was great. Up until they left the diner, I was so excited for it. And then I just feel like it just flattened out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was hard. It was hard for me because I was really pumped about it up until that point.
The central performance is really, really good. And I think my big beef with the movie, although I would still give it a thumbs up overall, is that he just met this woman today. I think if he's going to go on a quest to save one person, and, fate dictated that he missed that date, and fate dictated that he be there for that call, I don't think it would be wrong for him to just try to save himself. If it was his wife, But again, if it was his kid, the stakes would be much higher.
Even his mom or someone, right?
Yeah, I would understand that right away. We would understand that connection. We wouldn't need the clumsy introduction at the beginning of the movie. We would understand his quest a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like they lay it on really thick. Like this movie starts like a John Hughes romantic comedy. It's got narration and it's got sort of that weird 80s goofiness to it.
Yeah.
Once the worm turns though, that stops.
Yeah.
I think that was actually a really conscious decision of the filmmakers. Like they meant to kind of knock the wind out of you on a few occasions, and I'll mention them as we go on. But there are moments in the movie that kind of come out of left field and surprised me.
Yeah,
there's some interesting familiar faces from the 80s too. Was it Denise Crosby? What's her name?
Yeah, I think that was Denise Crosby. Yeah,
from Star Trek: Next Generation has a small part in it. Eli Wallach has a small part in it. Micheletti Williamson, I hope I'm saying his name right, has a small part in it. There's a weird sort of neon quality to this whole movie.
Which makes me think that every party anyone throws that's 80s themed now, when they have all the neon and ridiculous outfits, I'm like, this movie seems to confirm that like stereotype of the 80s.
It's the apocalypse. The apocalypse takes place while you're global.
At a discotheque.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, you almost want the bombs to drop.
Almost, yeah.
He encounters a lot of people, he spreads a lot of panic, and some question is raised in him and in other people as to the legitimacy of it. How much of this panic that he's creating is for any good cause? We do get our answer pretty conclusively at the end, but he has a few fights of doubt in himself, but in the end he believes it enough to take action.
All strong comments, but the ending, my God.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the ending. These spoilers. There's just a few things I just want to say as far as moments in the film that sort of surprised me. There's a scene that takes place at a gas station where a police officer is soaked in gasoline.
Bubba from Forrest Gump.
No, it's Micheletti Williams.
Okay, that is Micheletti Williams.
Yeah. The police officer raises her gun in the air and fires, and just the spark of her gun lights her on fire. Now, I'm sure the Mythbusters would take a lot of issue with that, but I mean, that was a really bizarre, shocking moment, and we hadn't seen anything like that previously in the film, and it kind of took the wind out of me. There's a scene where he's desperately running through a gym, asking if there's anybody who can fly a helicopter, and just for a split second, this beefy, musty person,
I thought it was Dolph Lundgren.
appears in the door, stark naked, just for a second. And again, it's jarring because we hadn't seen anything like it anywhere in the movie beforehand. It just seems like
just a dude hanging on.
Yeah. It's just like, it's a bizarre, these bizarre moments that kind of take you, and I appreciate it that the movie kept on, trying to push me off my feet.
Yeah. I'll give it had some effort, and it, for obvious reasons, it had more heart than Contagion.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
Almost to a fault, yeah.
And that's why I was like, okay.
It does not end well. The bombs drop. Spoilers for
Spoiler alert, but yeah.
And he was not quite able to get his love out of the city. They're in a helicopter, which crashes, ironically, into the tar pits. And they start to sink as the world around them is exploding and crashing. And they have an exchange.
And the exchange about diamonds, my God, that was so painful to watch. Because I was like, they're all looking into each other's eyes, saying they're going to become diamonds someday, and people are going to discover them. And it's where they first met. There's this sort of key. I felt like, I was like, anything I wanted to root for that was brilliant in the middle of it, ended for me when they came full circle to the start of the movie.
It's bookended because it's true. They did meet by the tar pits and they did end by the tar pits. And technically speaking, they would be preserved much like other things that would die in the tar pits would. So in theory, if somebody could dig them up. But it was a romantic gesture and it was pretty heavy-handed. But the situation that they were in was pretty incredible. And how do you comfort somebody else when how do you comfort yourself? You are facing death directly in the face, and it may come quick, it may come slow, but it's there, and it didn't bother me. I've had much worse heavy-handed stuff, and the way the movie started with that really high, shrill, romantic You know, that's the way it tried to end. But it started like a John Hughes movie and ended closer to David Lynch. And, like, that's an interesting arc for me. Not every movie will do that for me.
Yeah.
You know, it bothers me more, it's like, cheesy dialogue like this. Like, The Abyss, James Cameron's Abyss.
He should not write dialogue ever.
The director's cut of that, like somewhere between the director's cut and the original, there's a great film. But there's a scene where there's a very similar, very cheesy exchange about two candles in the dark. You know, there was one candle, then you lit another one and said, that was you. And there's tearful dialogue. And it kills everything that, you know, set up that moment.
Oh, yeah.
And everything that comes after it because of the just how shrilly they hit that note. And I think that's how Miracle Miles' note hit you. But for me, the whole movie was weirdly discordant and off-key. So to end on that sort of weirdly discordant off-key was in keeping with what preceded, I guess.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, is it felt a little off-kilter, which I was okay with. But that love story, and once again, like you said, he kept saying, oh, it's the love of my life, the love of my life. He met her at a museum for a day, and then the whole movie, he jumps out to save her and abandons what could have been an amazing, epic action movie about a group of individuals who have never met before in their entire life, but are now banding together to get out of the city so that they can, like, survive. I feel like the moment he jumped out of it, another movie drove off with those people in that van.
You wanted to stay in the van.
I wanted him to stay in the van, which was one of those chapter books where it's pick your own adventure, right? If they made a copy where I could pick that every time.
Let's you and I acquire the rights to this and remake it.
I think so.
Again, I think that the story here, the central crux of everything is, I believe the world's going to end. How can I convince everyone else? How can I save as many people as possible? And I've got less than an hour. And the movie kind of plays out more or less in real time after he gets the call, which is also pretty cool.
But I do want to make it a pick your own adventure.
Yeah.
So we can still include the original van sequence with an alternate movie.
All right. Well, that was Miracle Mile then?
Yeah.